Now we want to talk about key features of a distribution. So we describe a distribution with the three things: the shape, the center, and the spread. So let's talk about measures for each of those. So when we're talking about the shape of a distribution, we usually talk about how many peaks it has. The peaks are where a lot of the data is concentrated. One measure of the most occurring value is the mode. So the mode is the value that appears most often in a data set. For example, if I look at this data set, the most frequently occurring value is 5, so that is the mode. If I look at this data set, there are two most frequently occurring data values, 2 and 6. This is called bimodal, when there are two modes. I can be trimodal, but honestly, when we get more than two modes, we just start calling them multimodal. Now here, notice that every single data value occurs the same number of times. In this case, we don't call everything the mode. We say that there is no mode. There is no 1 or 2 or 3 most frequently occurring values. Now, also when we're talking about the shape of the distribution, we can talk about the skewness. The skewness is a leaning of the distribution to one side or the other. I am positively skewed or skewed right, if we have a tail to the right. I am negatively skewed or skewed left if we have a tail to the left. If it looks about the same on both sides, it is a symmetrical distribution. Notice that for a symmetric distribution, the mean, median, and mode are all roughly the same value. But for a negatively skewed distribution, the mean and the median are to the left of the mode. And for a positively skewed distribution, the mean and the median are both to the right of the mode. An outlier is a data point that is not consistent with the bulk of the data, a data point that is unusually high or unusually low. Outliers can greatly affect our mean, pulling it more to the right or more to the left, but generally don't have much effect on the median, and we'll see that more coming up. The median is the middle value in a data set. The middle value is found by looking at the middle position. So if there's an odd number of values, just find the one in the middle, and that is your median. But if there's an even number of data values, then you're going to average the two in the middle position. Just add them up and divide by 2. Here, if I look at this one, this data set, the first thing that I would do to find the median is put them in order. So looking in order, the lowest value is my 3.46, then 3.6, then 6.44, then 6.72, and then 26.7. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The middle data value is 6.44. So that's our median. Now, if I look at the same data set, but let's scratch out this 26.7. Now these two are in the middle. So to find the median, I'm going to add those two up and divide by 2. And if I do that, I get 5.02. Now the range is the spread of the data. It's your highest value minus the lowest value. The lower quartile is the median of the lowest half of the data. The upper quartile is the median of the upper half of the data. The interquartile range is the difference of those two quartiles. And then all of that information together makes up our 5-number summary. Our min value, the first quartile, the median, the upper quartile, and then the max value. Let's look at an example. I want to get the 5-number summary for this data set. So the first thing that I would do is arrange this data set in increasing order. And I've already done that here. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 data values. So my 8th data value is the median. Why is that? Because that leaves 7 on the left and 7 on the right. So that's my middle data value. So that's my median. So in my 5-number summary, I'm going to write down what the max is. The upper quartile is Q3, median, the lower quartile Q1, and the minimum value. Well, we just said the median is 83. And I can see right here, 56 is my minimum value, and 95 is my maximum value. Now, to find Q1, I take the median of this lower half of the data. Well, there's 7 data values there. So 1, 2, 3 on the left and 3 on the right means this is in the middle. So 75 is my Q1, my first quartile. So again, there's 7 over here. So 1, 2, 3, this value leaves 3 on each side. That's my upper quartile. So now my range is the biggest number minus the smallest number. 95 minus 56 is 39. And my interquartile range, which we abbreviate as IQR, is the difference of the quartiles. 87 minus 75, that's a difference of 12. So this is my 5-number summary right here, and my range in IQR. Now, the kth percentile is the number that has k% of the data values at or below it. The median is the value in the middle, so it's our 50th percentile. The quartile divides things into quarters, so 25% on each side. So the first quartile is the 25th percentile, and the third quartile would be the 75th. Now, this is like what you learned in high school when you took, say, the SATs, and they told you that you're in the 85th percentile. That meant that 85% of the people taking the test scored at or below the same value you did. Now, we can use the 5-number summary to create a box plot. In a box plot, the box covers the middle 50% of the data, and then the arms extend from the box. Back, sorry, I accidentally hit that. The arms extend from the box to the highest and lowest points inside our boundaries. Our boundaries are demarcated by 1.5 times the IQR. Anything outside of that is considered to be an outlier. Let's look at it with an example, and we're going to walk through this really quickly and then get to the example. So we would draw a line at the median, then a line at the upper quartile, and a line at the lower quartile. Then make a box out of it. Then calculate 1.5 times the IQR and draw a dotted line. We're adding that. These are called the fences. We're adding that to the upper quartile and subtracting it from the lower quartile and draw a dotted line there. Then draw your arms out to the data point farthest away inside the fences, and then mark any other fences, any other data points outside those fences as outliers. All right, let's look at the same set of exam scores. So I'm going to draw mine horizontally instead of vertically, because we just looked at one that was vertical. So the first thing that I want to do is notice that we're going from 56 to 95. So I might make my marks at 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, and then 100. Now, the median is at 83. So 75, this is 80. So 83 would be about in the middle there, so right there. And then I want Q1, which is at 75, that's right there. And Q3 at 87, well, that's 85, so 87 would be about there. And then draw my box around those guys. Now, my IQR is 12, so 1.5 times the IQR is 1.5 times 12, and that equals 18. So I add 18 to this upper quartile of 87, and we get to 105. So this fence is up here at 105. And then subtract 18 from the lower quartile, 75, that would be 57. So right about here, 57 is the lower fence. Now, my data point inside the fence going this way is the 95, so draw to 95. And my data point inside the fence going this way is at 62, so draw to 62. Now I only have one data point, 56, that lies outside the fence, so I mark it here with a X or star or something to indicate that it's outside of the fence. And that's what my complete box plot looks like. So now we'll get to the mean in the next video. Let's see how to do this with our test scores on the calculator. So I'm going to enter those values into list 1. By the way, I hit stat and edit, excuse me, stat and edit to go into list 1. So I'm just typing in these data values here, and you can do that with me. And we want to try not to make any mistakes, but I just did right after I said that. Whoops. And once I have them all entered into my list, then to get the 5-number summary, I can hit stat, go over to calc, and the 1-variable statistics. It's in list 1, so I just hit calculate. And we're going to talk about this other stuff coming up, but notice if I scroll down, min, Q1, median, Q3, max, there's my 5-number summary. All right, now if I want the plot for it, second and y equals takes me to the stat plots, turn it from off to on. And I want to choose the box plot looking one with the outliers, which is this one. Again, I want list 1 to be there. And then if I hit zoom 9 for the zoom stat, that shows me the box plot that I drew there. Now hitting the trace key, I can see this end box should be at 62, just like we said. There's Q1, the median, Q3, and the maximum. And going all the way over takes me to the outlier.